Today we're going to talk about honesty. I'm Lynn Bridgeford from Bios, and this is my series on coaching and mental health. When we think about an honest person, we consider that they tell the truth and obey the law. Values of honesty are always telling the truth, never lying or cheating, being sincere and not hiding the truth about something, being able to share honestly how you feel. Now there are sayings like honesty is the best policy, brutal honesty. So what is truth? There are different kinds of truth. There are personal truths. What's true for me may not be true for someone else. It may be to do with values, with upbringing, with many different things. There are world truths and there are universal truths. So these are all quite different. And in telling the truth, what does it mean? It's not always appropriate to tell people everything, and we can still be honest and loyal. As an example, it's not appropriate to tell your child about your intimate life. It's just not in their comprehension. So being honest about that is not necessarily the best policy. Being honest about who we are, what we're doing, that is important. To tell somebody point blank a hard truth may be the best policy, though it's always good to consider if there's a kinder way to deliver your truth. So truth is a variable thing. Honesty can be a choice to avoid being deceitful or lying or cheating. When we are honest, we are building a strength of character that can make us a great service to those around us and to ourselves. Being honest with ourselves is important, being honest about how we feel, being honest about what we do, how we behave. And it's also part of owning up when we've done something. Hands up, I did that, that was wrong. That's an attribute of honesty as well, is taking responsibility when we have done something that's either out of alignment with our integrity or something where we may have inadvertently offended someone else where we didn't mean to, and it's good to apologize, and it is honest to own up to that. How can you tell if somebody is honest? They tend to breathe more steadily and speak more steadily. Their stories tend to be longer and more detailed, and they hold the right amount of eye contact. They're not covering their throat or touching their nose, and they take responsibility rather than blaming outside forces. Now we can't judge somebody on any one of those things. You might have an itchy nose, you might have something that's itchy on your throat. Taking any of these indications on their own is not enough information. There's a whole study on micro-expressions, and there was a series on TV that brought this into a crime series. It's very, very interesting. The minute movements that we make, a little turn of the mouth or twinge of the eye or a twitch in the neck, that are very subtle clues as to whether somebody's telling the truth or not. So this is a great big science, and it's fascinating and very interesting. We may just swallow because we have something in our throat, so we need to have more context to this information rather than just saying, oh, you twitched so you're lying. We need to look in a broader picture and be honest with ourselves about what we are looking at. Some of the telltale signs if somebody's lying, they tend to get mixed up with their story. They put up a physical wall. They may give way too much information or too little information. They're fake smiling and doing strange things with their eyes, and they can't remember the details. Other telltale signs can be overemphasizing honesty. To tell you the truth, to be honest, let me be clear. The fact is, believe me. And there may be honest people who use these phrases, so again, take it in context. They are just signposts. So how can you practice honesty? Be truthful, be straight, be honest with yourself, be honest with others. Take time to reflect. Change your habits if you're not happy with them. Be the best version of yourself and avoid impressing other people. Be straightforwards and stop comparing yourself to others. Avoid exaggerating or embellishing. There's a lot of information in there that, taken out of context, would not be relevant. Then we need to use our gut feeling, our inner tuition, that feeling where we know if something doesn't sit right. How many times do you just have a sense that you know somebody or some situation is not truthful? Is it something that you see in them that relates to something else, that reminds you of something you know about? Are you used to watching micro expressions without realizing it? Do you have a good gut instinct? How many times do you just know that person is right for the job or not? I had a boss who employed a student because he knew she was perfect for the job. Even though she answered all the questions incorrectly, he knew she was right for the job, and she was brilliant. He was absolutely spot on. So it's a great skill when we can use our sense to know when somebody's being honest. And perhaps when we're more honest ourselves, we will see more honesty in other people. Does this mean that if we're less honest, we will see more dishonesty in people? I think it's all a case of what we look for, we find, and it's good to have our awareness and be the best person we can be, bringing our honesty to the table. Most of all, be honest with yourself about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like, how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend your time with. Be honest with yourself and make your life easier and better. Thank you so much.